Welcome to all. This is Dr. M. Armugham, heading the Department of Botany, GAJ College of Arts and Science, Pudukkottai, Tamil Nadu. In this presentation, just I would like to say something about the Lycopodium. In this slide, we can see classification of Lycopodium. The Lycopodium is coming under the division Lycophyta, class Eclopsida, order Lycopodiales, family Lycopsidae, and genus Lycopodium. In this Lycopodium, it is having the 180 species of this genus, and this is a habit of Lycopodium. It is living Lycopodials or the representative of a group which during the Carboniferous period from the chief vegetation areas is covered. Many of the types of Lycopodium is growing the under the very large trees. Then modern representatives are the small or herbaceous saprophytes. Leaves are small and very simple, and each leaf possesses an unbranched midrib. Leaves have no ligules, and also in the plant having the no leaf gap in this nodal region in the stela revolution. The saprophyte may have or may not have the restricted to the terminals. This we can see the illustrations. What is a ligule? The tropilis we can see, and branched and root of this Lycopodium we can see, and in the sap the sporophylls and the simple vegetative leaves may be very similar in the case of Lycopodium. They possess a homosporous sporangium, that is all the spores are the similar on one kind of appearance. The gametophytes are the wholly or partially substraneans, and the androgen remains embedded in the tissues of the prothallus and rhizoids of the five flagellates. And what about the distribution of this Lycopodium? The species of the Lycopodium are worldwide distributed. They are mainly found in the tropical as well as in the subtropical forest. In India, they are found in the hills of eastern Himalaya as well as the western Ghats also. The plants are the common known as called as the ground pines, glub mosses, and tiling the evergreens. Many species occur in the tropics as hanging epiphytes, example Lycopodium. The species are in this slide we can see the very most of the Lycopodiums are common species of the Lycopodium. The Lycopodium serenum, Lycopodium hemilotini, Lycopodium satanism, Lycopodium vitinea, like that. What about the sporophytic condition of the Lycopodium is it having the all species possesses small herbaceous or shrubby saprophytes, sporophytic in nature. The stems in almost all the species are delicates as well as in a weak conditions. Some of the species are epiphytic as well as it can stand erect on the pattern sporophytic. The stems is branched and densely covered with small leaves also, and the stems what about the stem means the species referred to the subgenus here Orostechia possesses unbranched as well as in the branched conditions. The erect as well as in the patented. It can be climbed like soil penetrating elastic, but the never creeping conditions, but it won't creep to another plant. The subgenus include the species, for an example, Lycopodium salagico, Lycopodium lucidum, Lycopodium phlegmaria, and others you can see in climbering conditions. If the stem is branched and unbranching is always a dichotomous, usually the successive dichotomous are the found at angle to another, the species belonging to the subgenus also. Now, in the case of leaf, the leaves are the very small and simple, sessile and numerous, and also covered in axillary closely. Typically, the leaves are the 2 to 10 millimeter long. Usually, the leaves are arranged in the closed spiral conditions, while in other cases they are arranged in a whorl manner. While in other cases it is in a whorl manner. Then on some of the species we can found that arrangement as opposite venation, opposite pilotaxy also we can see. In other they are regularly or irregularly arranged. Usually the leaves are in a lacerate points. Then what about the roots of the plant? Means the roots are arises on the outside and still do not penetrate the cortical region of the stem at once. The roots turn down and penetrate the soft middle cortex, making the canals through it. Then the emerging only at the stem, the shed. Such roots are known as then cortical roots. We can see in cortical roots, and we can see in xylem and phloem. We can also arrange in the one by one manner. We can have the distinct endodermis also. And another slide we can see apical growth of the plant. The apical growth of the shoot takes place by means of an apical meristem, which consists of a group of apicals. In this image we can see in a shoot apical meristem in a top region, and we have the leaf primordia in the side portions also. In illustration, the original image as also we can take it, and also illustrations that hand drawn also we have see. The vegetative propagation of this sporophyte we can see in vegetative propagation the gametophyte, and the vegetative propagation a juvenile stage of the sporophyte, and gemma produced from the cortical cells of the roots, and tubers developed at the apex of the roots. So this we can see in 4 types of vegetative propagation in the case of Lycopodium species. And spores, what about the spores? Mean the small spores about 0.03 to 0.05 millimeter in diameter of these spores. They are uniform in size. That's why we used to say that homosporous. This way Lycopodium is similar to most of the ferns as well as the equistems. The spores are the round and tetrahedral in shape. So we can see in Lycopodium strobile we can see the both male and female gametes also very similar in shape and size also. So it is called as homosporous. And the germination of the spores and development of the prothallus. The spores settle on the ground after their liberation from the sporangium from each germination to the prothallus. So we can see that we can each and every branches strobilus we can have the sporophylls. The sporophyle is covered the spores as that sporangium, and the sporangium will develop or which consists of the spores. Then what is the prothallus? Yeah, prothallus or the prothallum is usually the gametophytic stage in life of the fern or other pteridophytes. Occasionally the term is used to describe the young gametophyte. So prothallus is commonly called as a young and juvenile gametophytic stage of these liverworts as the mosses. The prothallus developed from the germinating spores also. So we can see very greenish, very soft prothallus, that is a first stage of gametophyte. We can see the cross section of the prothallus also. What about the life cycle of Lycopodium means? Life cycle of Lycopodium is called as we can see from the adult plant or the matured plant. From the matured plant we can have the strobili. Strobili is consist of the sporophyll, and within the sporophyll we can have the sporangium. Within the sporangium we can have the spores. The spore mother cells are coming under the meiotic divisions, and from the meiotic divisions we can have the very minute spores. From the spores it will develop having these rhizoids, antheridium, archegoniums containing eggs also. After the joining of antheridium cells as well as archegonium, fertilization will take place. From the fertilization we can have the egg and the spores unit form the zygote. From the zygote we can have the gametophyte. From the gametophyte we can have the new plant or sporophyte also. This is a we can see this is a illustration. It is a handwritten. This is a Lycopodium. Strobilus we can have. From the strobilus we can have the sporophylls. From the sporophylls we have sporangium. From the sporangium it consists of spore mother cells. It is called the meiosis. It undergo the meiosis division or the reduction division. The spores will be produced. From the spores we can directly produce the oospores. From the oospores we can go to the embryo. From the embryo we can have the new prothalli, from prothalli to Lycopodium. And if spore is having the prothallus, its archegonium and antheridium will be developed. From the antheridium we can have the anthrazoids. Archegonium we can have the egg cells. Then we can have the oospores, the fertilization or fertilization. After the fertilization we can have the oospores. From the oospores we can have the embryo and Lycopodium. What are the economic importance of the Lycopodium means? Lycopodium herb has used as the traditional Australian medicines as the tea, or externally used as a compression of the treatment of disorders like locomotor system, skin, livers as well as file system also, and kidneys and urinary tracts also we can be used. Then Lycopodium powder is used to determine the molecular size of the oleic acids. Thank you for watching.